Most bikes don't die from one big mistake. They fade because of tiny habits riders don't even notice. A cold morning throttle twist, months parked in the sun, a dragging rear brake, sloppy inputs, or skipped maintenance. All those little hits slowly age your motorcycle. Today we're breaking down the 5 habits that quietly kill bikes and the simple fixes that keep yours running smooth for years. Let's start with the first one, and it happens before you even roll out of the driveway. Number 1, whacking the throttle on a cold engine. Cold engines are tight engines. Aluminum pistons, steel liners, valve trains, all sized to run at operating temperature, need a minute to expand and seal. Oil also needs seconds to circulate and lose that molasses feel. Go wide open before that, and you're forcing high cylinder pressure across rings that haven't seated thermally on bearings that aren't fully floated by oil. The result over time, light cylinder scoring, accelerated bearing wear, and valves that see extra heat when clearances aren't ideal yet. You might not blow the engine, but you'll shorten its sweet spot. Do this instead. Start, idle for 15 to 30 seconds, and then ride off gently. Keep revs and throttle modest for the first 5 to 10 minutes until coolant and oil are up to temp. Bonus, your tires warm as you roll, which means grip arrives with the engine's comfort zone. And speaking of things that quietly age your bike long before you notice, the weather can hammer a parked motorcycle harder than a bad ride. Let's talk about the second habit that ruins bikes while they sit. Number 2, parking outside uncovered for months. Sunlight doesn't just fade paint. UV cooks plastics, dry seals, and hardens tires. Rain sneaks into switches and connectors, and modern bikes depend on those connectors. Temperature swings pump damp air in and out of the tank. That condensation turns into rust and gummy fuel. Then the wildlife shows up. Mice love warm air boxes and soft insulation. Fix it with layers. A breathable, UV-resistant cover is the bare minimum. If you can, use a carport or garage. Keep fuel treated if the bike sits more than a month, and top the tank to reduce moist air. Keep a smart tender on the battery. A quick wipe down, chain lube, and 5 minutes of inspection every couple of weeks beats months of slow decay. Because once you're back on the road, another invisible habit can torch parts in a hurry. You might be dragging something without knowing it, and it's not your foot peg. Number 3, dragging the rear brake without realizing. Newer riders often rest the middle of the foot on the peg, leaving the toe hovering over the brake pedal. Result? A light, constant squeeze you can't feel through boots. That sneaky pressure bakes pads, glazes rotors, and boils fluid, which steals braking power when you actually need it. On the highway, it also forces the engine to work harder, wastes fuel, and makes the bike feel sluggish. The fix starts with foot position. Balls of your feet on the pegs when you're not shifting or braking. Practice braking intentionally. Either brake or don't. If the pedal travel feels vague, bleed the system and check rotor and pad condition. Learn low-speed control with clutch and a touch of rear brake in a parking lot, but don't carry that habit into normal riding. Mastering control is good. Overusing one control is expensive. And the broader family of sloppy inputs adds up too. If rear brake drag is the small leak, the next habit is the big hole in the bucket.
Number 4, sloppy technique that punishes drivetrains and suspension. Harsh on-off throttle snaps the chain tight, then slack, then tight again. That chop eats sprocket teeth and stretches links. Hammer hard stops on the street roast pads and warp rotors, even if you never touch a track. Bouncing off the rev limiter doesn't free power. It just slaps the valve train and spikes heat. Downshifting without a blip? That's a clutch and gearbox begging for mercy. Overloading the bike with a passenger and luggage without adjusting preload turns every pothole into a bottom-out event that pounds fork seals and internals. Ride smoother. Roll on, roll off. Look far, set speed early. Brake in a straight line, then lighten the brakes as you lean. If you don't have a slipper clutch, add a small throttle blip on downshifts to match revs. Learn what your suspension adjusters do and set sag for your real weight, including gear and luggage. If you love wheelies, understand your oil pickup and how long the engine can run nose high without starving. Smooth makes you quicker, calmer, and way cheaper to maintain. But even perfect technique can't save a bike from the most boring mistake of all. The fifth habit isn't exciting. It's the reason good bikes die early.
Number 5.
Skipping the simple maintenance that keeps a bike young. Oil and filter changes on time keep tiny metal bits from circulating forever. Fresh air filters protect cylinder walls and help fuel trim stay happy. Clean, lubed, correctly tensioned chains save sprockets and prevent the kind of chain failure that can take out your cases. Coolant and brake fluid quietly age. Fresh fluid keeps corrosion and boil over away. And valve clearance checks are not optional poetry. Tight valves lead to hard starts, poor power, and eventually burnt seats. Caught early, it's a shim. Caught late, it's a top-end bill. Build a rhythm. One small thing each weekend. 10 minutes to check chain slack and lube after a wash. A monthly look at tire pressures and wear. A quick spin of the wheels to make sure nothing drags. Listen to your bike. Rough idle, sudden thirst for fuel, or a new rattle is your early warning system. If you trailer your bike, tie it down upright with a wheel chock. Compress the suspension a couple of clicks, never to the stops, and anchor to solid points, not plastic housings or switch pods. Maintenance isn't just wrenches, it's respect. And that brings everything full circle. Most bikes don't fail because one giant thing went wrong one time. They get tired from 1,000 small hits. Hard throttle on a cold morning. Months under sun and rain. A rear brake you didn't notice. Chopped inputs that turn smooth power into shock loads. And maintenance that always gets pushed to next weekend. The fix is simple and it's in your control. Warm the engine and the tires. Protect the bike when it sleeps. Put your feet where they belong and use every control on purpose. Ride smooth and set the suspension for the weight you actually carry. Do the easy service before it becomes hard. You'll feel the difference. The gearbox snicks cleaner. The brakes stay strong all season. The chain stays quiet. And the engine that used to sound tense in the morning settles into a relaxed hum that lasts for years. Take care of the little things, and your motorcycle will trade slow death for long life. That's how you keep the machine you love feeling new, ride after ride.